Hey, 8th grade! My goodness, it's good to be back. And I'm saying this to a completely new 8th grade class than I did last year. I'm Mr. Grell, and I just wanted to say hello to you through a video every day this week. This is me without a mask on. You've seen me before, but it's been a while, and this year is going to be a bit different in the way we look and the way we learn. So I thought it'd be a nice idea if I could show you who I am a bit. Like the hair, the old spirit of last year's 8th grade class is somehow in this hair because I have not cut my hair since last August. And then here is one of my favorite hats. You know what this is? It's a basketball team. It's a logo for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's very normal for the Milwaukee Bucks to disappoint me. Even when they play really well, they never play well enough. So I'm hoping for some differences. It's not completely normal for me to look like this as a teacher, but as we had distance learning, this is the way that I looked during March, April, and May. And I still really enjoyed Google Meets and learning about Google Classroom with my 8th graders. We just learned not only about stuff, but we learned about how to learn in a new way. It was a great challenge. So I'm really thankful that we can meet in person. We're going to try it. And I wanted to let you know a little bit about me. But what about you? What about you? Well, I'm getting excited to learn about each of you individually. That's one of my favorite things about being a teacher, learning about what you hope for and what you're curious about and how you feel like you want your life to go. But as I think about you as a group and what you've had to go through in the last 6 months, I already know that you are very brave. Because to go through what you've gone through at a young age, you haven't really had a choice but to be brave. And that's one thing that books have taught me, that we often think that brave people feel courageous and they just kind of feel fearless, but it's actually in those times of great struggle and those times of actually feeling afraid that people choose to be brave. And whether you felt afraid or even maybe a little bit bored at the end of your 7th grade year, you were brave to continue every day, to learn the best that you could, and to be the best version of yourself. I know that you've been patient. You've probably been patient waiting for your homeroom letters. They finally came. You're learning if you're in Mr. Lee or my homeroom. You've probably been patient through middle school. It probably feels like things are going slow and you want to get other places. I really affirm you for being patient. Even if you wish that time could go faster, you're kind of accepting where you're at. I bet you're curious. At your age, you're really good at figuring out that sometimes life doesn't always make sense. Sometimes the rules of school or maybe the routines in your family, you're starting to wonder why it's done. And I want to be one of those people in your life that is willing to explore the why with you. I hope you ask me a lot of why questions, and I'm going to ask you a lot of why questions as well. And then finally, I think you want a lot of things. I remember being in 8th grade, I just wanted so much. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. I wanted to be older. I wanted to be able to drive. I wanted to be away from school, and on and on and on. But I think part of you actually wants to be normal, especially this year. Now, in our world, it's very encouraged to be unique and to stand out, and believe me, you do and you will. But aren't we hoping for a bit of a normal school year at some point? We'd like it to be interesting. We'd like it to be new, and yet we'd like for some things to be predictable, don't you think? I know that I do. And so there's some things in this wacky summer that were normal for me. It's normal that I go swimming. I went swimming in 3 locations. I went down south to the Gulf of Mexico. It was warm. I went out east to the Atlantic Ocean. That was cold. And then this weekend, I swam in Lake Michigan, and it was a bit of both. It's normal for me this time of year to have silly sleeps. Sometimes I have weird dreams, but the week before I have to start teaching again or really start going back to school, it's so weird. I usually go to bed at 9:30 or 10. But the week before I have to start going to school, I go to bed way late. I'm going to bed like after midnight every day this week. And that's just been a normal thing for me for the last 8 years that I've taught. I'm glad that we've got a week left until we meet together so I can try to build my energy and get ready to wake up early again. It's been a while. And then finally for me, it's normal for me to be excited to go back to school. It wasn't always normal for me to be excited to go back to school as a student, but as a teacher, I look forward to you. I look forward to learning from you. I love reading. I love history. We're surrounded with so much history in our world right now. And yet, I want to learn what it's like to be you, and I want to be able to encourage confidence in you and to help you feel empowered and that you can understand things and that you can achieve things, not only on a test, but in finding new friendships and in finding yourself to be a really valuable human being. I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for that. And so I'd like to finish by saying there's going to be some normal things about Grell's 8th grade classroom this year. And in my classroom, it's very normal for students' hands to go up and ask me questions that they want to learn about. And I encourage you to come the first week of school with a question. Don't even make it about a book or about school. Make it about something that keeps you up at night that you just don't understand. I'll be glad to hear it. It's completely normal for us to write creative stories, usually just little scenes. It's about a half page. We do this at least once a week. And as we get more comfortable with each other, it's going to be very normal for us to share those out loud. And we've got a lot of young authors that are going to be coming into the classroom. And we've got a lot of people with some wild imagination as well. So trust me, I've got some interesting creative prompts for us to do, even that first week of school. And then it's very normal for us to start our morning the same way. Teachers always have a way to start the morning. I am going to tell you a little bit about how we're going to start the morning tomorrow, but I would like to finish this with a question. And I encourage you, I will have sent this video to your parents' email. So I'm hoping that there's 5 to 10 8th graders who might take a moment to email me 2 or 3 sentences on their parents' email, or maybe you have your own, but you have mine now. My question for you is this: what's your morning routine? What's it been like? I hope there's some brushing of teeth. Deodorant would be nice. Maybe you start the day with some devotions or some breakfast. Maybe you wake up at the last minute, get to class with bedhead. Maybe you get up an hour early and you work out. Well, in tomorrow's video, I'm going to tell you my personal morning routine, and then I'm going to tell you about the first 10 minutes of a morning routine we're going to have if you're in my homeroom. If you're in Mr. Lee's homeroom, it's going to be mostly the same idea for a morning routine, but you'll be starting the morning with him. So think about that. I encourage you to email me. What's your morning routine? What do you do in the morning before you start your day, before you really get rolling? It's really good to say hello to you. Can't wait for tomorrow's video, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you. Talk to you again.